Hello and welcome to my Neuron Writer review, where I'm going to be giving you a demo, showing you some of the features, and more specifically, how you can use this to create articles that rank in Google. Keep in mind, at the time of creating this, they currently have a lifetime deal. I will put a link in the description. If you click that, you'll get taken to AppSumo, where you can see all the details when it comes to the features and pricing. I think that's probably one of the better ways to do it, rather explaining it and, of course, having it change later on in the future. So that's not going to last forever, so at least make sure you check that out for all the further details. Let's get started. So this is going to be like my second/third use of this. So it's pretty much kind of the initial stages of my using. So you get to see a much more raw review, which I like doing a lot of times. Anyway, when you get started, you're going to want to create a new project. For this, I just used, Marketing Island. From there, what you can do is create a new analysis. When you do this, this is going to be for the keyword that you want to rank for. In this specific example, I did DVDs versus Blu-ray. I'm a big movie buff, so it's just something I wanted to do for a different type of content. So I would like to rank/create content for, so it's going to be based around this keyword. And what we want to do is hit start. And when we do, we want to give it some time. It's going to take maybe 15, 20, 25, 30 seconds or so for the results to finish. So I'm going to give it a second, and when it's done, I'll be back. All right, so now once that's done, let's click on the view button. And this is what we're going to have in terms of what they show up on Google. So the first 10 are going to be the most important. The reason for that is you don't want to model your content after, something that's ranking 20th or 30th. While it could be good, while it could be newer, maybe they're sending backlinks to it and it's moving on up, you pretty much just want to change it based upon what's going to be in the top 10. Of course, further on down the road, if you want to optimize it, you can change it and redo it, but that's part of SEO. You're going to have to adapt and change over time. So what we want to do is base our content on some of the top articles. Now, keep in mind, you're not always going to want to use the top 10. So we can do uncheck all. We're not going to want to use all of them in the top 10. Examples include forums like Reddit. We don't want to optimize after that. That stuff kind of ranks randomly. And the cool thing is, if you ever see Reddit Quora in the top 10, it is usually a good sign that it's a little bit easier to rank for, all right? You don't want to put in something like Amazon in there, and you usually don't want to use absolutely massive authoritative websites. The reason for that is they can pretty much almost write anything as long as it's related to the keyword and the content, and they'll rank without backlinks, especially for the fact that they have so much power and authority in their websites. It's much easier for them to do so. But what you can also do is just open it in a new tab and take a look at it. Like, does this look like a massive authoritative website? It looks like it could be. It's this collection wholesale. Looks like it's a pretty good one to go after. It talks about the specific keyword. So something like that we would want to use. We can go through with the next one. Now, the cool thing about this is that when you're really good with a specific niche, you're going to know some of the biggest players, which ones you're going to want to use. This looks great. Nice blog post. We can use that one as well. And I'm just going to do the same thing for the rest of these. I won't go through all of them, but once again, this looks like a great blog post, which was done recently, March 31st, or maybe they updated it recently. Either way, that's a good one. And let's go to the fan carpet. I'm just pretty much looking for basic articles, affiliate websites, stuff that's not on a forum. That's great. Let's go with this. And we have a Quora one there, so we're going to want to avoid that. So what is a Blu-ray player? What is this for? LifeWire, this is kind of like an anything. This could be iffy, but let's see how long the article is. Not bad. We'll go with that one. Quora, we're going to skip like I talked about. We got which.co.uk. Okay, it's related, talks about it. We've got some pop-ups going on here. And I think that'll be good. Now, we can use, obviously, where's Quora? We could use more of these if you want. Usually the more the better, but I think that'll be pretty good when it comes to getting enough information. After we're done with that, we're going to click on next. Right, and so here we are. So the cool thing about this is that not only will it allow you to create an article that is optimized based upon what those competitors are using, but it kind of one-ups a lot of the competitors, because I've used software very similar to this. It works very well when it comes to ranking, optimizing, and it kind of gamifies the process of creating articles, which is really cool, but it adds an AI aspect to it. So it'll really help you out that way. So the idea is that when we're done, like, I'm not going to go through it all, but just so you know, is that you can get an article that's well optimized and has a content score that's much higher. The higher overall, the better. That's kind of like where the gamification comes in. But let's start off by going to the draft section. And what we can do a meta layout if you want. In my opinion, you can always just do this separately. Anytime I've used software similar to this, I just kind of write on my own just because they're so easy to write. If we know what we're talking about with our keyword, usually that's going to be front loaded. So it's going to be like DVDs versus Blu-ray. What's the biggest difference? Which one should you use? Also take a look at what other people are doing and make it a little bit different, but maybe more catchy or interesting. So here's a cool thing when it comes to the article layout. It's going to have a lot of headings that you can utilize. Now, something I want you to make notice is the copyright notice. It says conti gives you information on content structure and content ideas gathered from different sources, including your competitors' websites. Please remember to treat them as a suggestion and write your own unique and valuable content. So keep in mind, these are going to be what some of the competitors are using. If you're going to do that, you're going to have to reword them. So that's pretty much, I want to make sure that you're aware of that so that you don't use all these subheadlines or meta descriptions and realize that that's what other people are using. So it's good to add them in there in terms of what you want to utilize or the structure for it. So we can just use some of these. For example, we have what are Blu-rays and why are they better than DVDs? We can add that in if we want. Okay. What about 4K Blu-rays? Are DVDs better than Blu-rays in any way? What is a Blu-ray player? Or what we can do is just add our own sections. In my opinion, I'd probably want to do this. When I do my writing, I have my own templates. And when you're good with your niche or topic, you know pretty much what people are going to be looking for. And there's plenty of clever ways of doing that, even just looking within Google. So you could start off by saying like, what are DVDs exactly? For example, we want to do another one. I'm going to get rid of this just so we're using our own. Why do people still purchase DVDs? Okay, then we could do something like, what is the difference between DVDs and Blu-rays? Let's just add one more to kind of give you an idea how it works. And conclusion, should you still be buying DVDs and Blu-rays? So what we can do from here is go back to our article layout, go back to where we can actually start creating this. So let's click on save. Now what we want to do is copy to editor. So as you'll see, now we have a lot of those, or not a lot of those, we have a bunch of those. And the more keywords we add to this, the more this is going to go up because we're going to start using a lot of these keywords that are based upon the competitors that we pick. So if you'll see Blu-ray player right here, like if I type that in, Blu-ray player, you'll notice that it fills up once. So we're aiming for any amount of like 4 to 9 times we can utilize. And that's a really cool thing about this. Now, what's even better is that I talked about previously, this is where I think Neuron Writer one-ups a lot of its competitors. I haven't seen this yet. It's a combination of being able to optimize an article, or you can just start the paragraph with AI, you can expand, or you can rephrase. So let's actually start the paragraph and let's see what we get. So what are DVDs exactly? A DVD is a digital optical disc storage format. DVDs are commonly used to store and distribute large amounts of data, including movies and television shows. DVDs are also used to store other types of data, such as video games, music, and software. Okay, I mean, that's not bad. So let's click on Use Text. And what I can also do is just simply delete this. Now, there's also the section of being able to generate more. It's still in beta, so it's going to have some work that needs done to it. Let's just say like DVDs. There may be movies. Let's click generate. Okay, so a DVD is a digital optical disc data storage format that was invented and developed by Philips, Sony, Toshiba, and Panasonic in 1995. I don't know if that's true, so like a lot of AI type of tools, you're going to have to fact check. DVDs offer a higher storage capacity than compact discs while having the same dimensions. Pre-recorded DVDs are mass-produced using molding techniques that physically stamp data onto the DVD, such as movies. Not bad, I'll use that. Probably don't need that last part. But as you'll see here, once we start utilizing this, it's going to, add up a lot of these keywords that we're using, as we talked about before. So why do people still purchase DVDs? Well, once again, let's do the beta with generate. Now we'll use DVDs and movies again. Let's see what we get. There are a few reasons why people still purchase DVDs. For some, it is simply because they prefer to own a physical copy of the movie. They may also appreciate having access to bonus features that are not always available when streaming. Additionally, DVDs tend to be less expensive than purchasing a digital copy or renting a movie from a service. And finally, some people just enjoy collecting movies on DVD. As a DVD and movie buff, I can completely agree with all of those. That was a really good phrase right there. So that was why people are still purchasing DVDs once again. And of course, keep in mind, this isn't going to be all about having AI write this for you. I think one of the best things is being able to optimize articles so that when you create them, you know they're going to have a lot of great keywords, in terms of what your competitors have, and of course, how you can rank better using that. I also think it's a very big boost that it allows an AI creator within this, which is something I haven't personally seen before. It's like mixing and matching two great softwares. But keep in mind, you will have to write, a bunch of the article yourself. But what is the difference between DVDs and Blu-rays? Should you still be buying DVDs and Blu-rays? So give me a second. What I'm going to do is actually write some of this myself, and I'll show you how the content score can still go up. Okay, so I just wrote a little bit, and as you see, I forgot where it was before, but it went up to 9. And as you use more of these keywords, you're going to see that it goes up with it. So in my opinion, I think it's a good idea that you don't just sell your Blu-ray player or DVD player just yet. If you think about it, buying movies and expanding upon your DVD collection be a lot cheaper than streaming movies on your favorite platforms. Plus, whether it be with DVD movies or especially Blu-ray discs, you can still get great audio and 1080p resolution for the movies that you watch. In the end, there is a difference when it comes to Blu-ray versus DVDs, and in my opinion, again, they are both worth purchasing and watching over many of the popular streaming platforms. So I think that should give you an idea about how Neuron Writer works. Overall, it's going to be a software that pretty much allows you to create content, optimize it based upon some of the top search engine results, and in addition to that nice little benefit of being able to utilize AI to generate some content and of course get plenty of ideas based upon what some of the highest ranking results are doing in Google. And after all, that's what you want to model it after, not something that's ranked 50th or 86th, because yeah, maybe they might move up in the future, but it's all about what's the best right now in the top 10, and that's what Neuron Writer can help you with. So overall, I hope you enjoyed that quick Neuron Writer review and demo to give you a good idea about how it works, some of its features, and so on and so forth. Yeah, a little nitpicky here. I think there are some pros and cons, like a few things that could be fixed. Might be a little nitpicky, like when I created my project, I didn't find any way to be able to edit it. Like maybe I wanted to create a name for it. Very small thing. Another one was once I used a keyword, like I couldn't delete it, see if I misspelled it or wanted to do it a different way. Another small thing. And there are a few other things, like if you highlight too many characters, for example, I think that's just something you'll figure out. Like you won't be able to, let's see, I think it's expand. Yeah, so please select between 20 and 200 characters as an input. So that's something else. Not huge deals, not game breaking, but there's a few things like that you'll bump into. But overall, it definitely does as it says it's going to, and that's always a good thing. It'll help you create content that'll rank high in Google, especially when it comes to optimization and amount of keywords that are shown on the right side. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. And once again, I will put a link in the description where you can check this out with the lifetime deal on AppSumo. Thanks again so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.